Well, good morning and compliments of the season to you. Uh, this is the last success circle of 2020. So we are not too many of us this morning. There may be some others who will join as time goes on. This is a very busy season, it seems, for all of us. However, so this is the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. My name is Lowell Ann, and I love helping retirees and third agers work online and even start an online business. So this morning we are going to talk about plugins, WordPress plugins, because a lot of us do have our own websites and manage our own websites. So I thought that would be something worth sharing with everyone. I know that we all have different reasons to have plugins, and so it seemed like a good thing to do as our last topic of the year. So that said, David, thank you for coming. And would you like to introduce yourself? And be sure to say something about that little project that you were telling me about a few minutes ago.
I'm Dave Flannery with Affordable Websites for Small Business. I'm here helping out and Loan's wingman and doing chat. And I haven't checked to see what we got here. I've been doing.
And would you like to? Oh, there's
And I stopped it.
Okay.
Anyway, I do websites for small businesses in United States. I guess I do it anywhere. I've got one out in Utah. So I mean, and I've started a new project. The project is Affordable Cafe, and I'm sending out postcards, mail postcards, or snail mail postcards, I guess you would say, to encourage businesses to sign up with me for a $100 a month website and a $75 a month order online process. So, and I'm about 3/4 of the way done with my website and to the sample website. And then I've also got to change my affordable website for small business to include these processes. So
right on.
I'm planning on putting banners up that say on the front page, special deal. I don't know if I want to advertise it as COVID or not, but I'm doing it in response to COVID because people are struggling. And this is another avenue for them to bring people into their restaurants and make it convenient for the purchasing of their food.
Right on. Well, and I think that's I mean, the fact that you've just very quickly put that together, that's really I know it's going to be a success. So thank you, Dave. And
You're
Fred.
welcome.
Fred, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Certainly. I'm Fred Jones, the creator of Our Future Leaders, where we assist young people to gain the skills they need to be successful when they enter adulthood and become the leaders that our world needs so desperately. Yes, there's so many changes going on. So had a wonderful, I guess, online session on Sunday with 4 youngsters from Romania, 2 from Nepal, and 5 of them here from Canada. And we were talking, sorry, I'm trying to make some tea. So
your buzzer just went off.
Yeah, that was the microwave saying, hey, the water is heated for my tea.
I see Matthew Paul. My goodness, there you are, Matthew. Good morning.
Hi, Matthew.
You arrived just in time to introduce yourself.
Yeah.
But you are muted.
There we go. Good morning. Yes, hi. Good to see you guys and gals.
Yes.
Gal. I'm Matthew Powell, and I am president of Coastline Marketing, and currently AMP liquidations. Tell you about that some other time.
Well, I heard just a little smidge about that from David, and then I had seen it on your page on Facebook, and I'm going, what is Matthew up to?
It's not what I'm up to. It's what my wife is up to.
Oh,
It's a bit of a story. I don't know how much time I have, so I'll respect the procedure here, and I'll let you know about it later.
Perhaps that would be more suited to after we stop recording.
Sounds
So
good.
here comes somebody. Yeah, that is Javita. So here comes Javita. And by the way, Fred is, if anybody's wondering where he went, he's making tea and his buzzer just went off. So he had to get up and good evening, Javita. Namaste.
Good evening, Lolan.
You're just in time to introduce yourself.
Oh my God. Thank you, Lolan. I'm Jivita from AdvantageAffiliates.com, and I love affiliate marketing, and I help people to get started in an online business.
Right on. So, and you didn't say where you are, though.
Oh, I'm from Mumbai, India.
Right on. So that's why I said good evening.
Yeah.
So we will get started. I don't know what has happened to our other usual friend, Vivek. I'm guessing he's been, a lot of things are happening in the UK right now, so we don't know what's going on there. So we have some, we have heard some very disturbing news from the UK. So it sounds like a lot of things are being shut down totally there, from what I heard on the news this morning. So, and there's some not very happy things being announced even for Canada. And but I did hear a good piece of news about the US. The Congress has finally approved the financial support for people. So yeah. Oh, here comes Alana. It'll take the system a few minutes to let her in. Then there'll be a ding dong. So in the meantime, we were going to talk about WordPress plugins this morning. Oh, I may as well give Alana, it's just coming in. Alana, you're just in time to introduce yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Alana here from ALB Digital Marketing Solutions in Ireland. And yeah, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, barely made it today. Was up shopping and got caught in all kinds of traffic, the usual at this time of year. So
yeah. Well, I'm glad you made it. So, okay, so I'm going to start us off with a question. Do you folks, and I know you all have your own websites, all of you. Do you know how many plugins you have activated on your website? $11? Okay. 8. Are you guys just guessing or do you really know?
I'm looking it up right now, and I'm just going with one website. I'm not going to go with all. I'm sure I've got, well, I know my real estate website's probably got about 15 to 20 on it, but I'm looking at Affordable right now. As soon as it comes up, I'll tell you.
Well, let me tell you, I was telling David before we went live that somebody sent me the most beautiful link to this year's Canadian version of Handel's Messiah, which involves a lot of our First Nations, Canadian First Nations people who are singing various parts. They included various choirs and various individuals from all across Canada. And it's really a very unusual version. It's also based on the Toronto Symphony. So, I mean, musically, it was really, really nice to listen to. So that was sent to me as a gift from one of our choir directors here in Victoria. And so I'm sitting on one screen. I've got Handel's Messiah playing. So on the other screen, I'm going through all my websites and counting things up and making a list. So you guys are going to be blown away because I have 4 live websites, and I have 3 others that are in the works, partially there, but not finished. So out of 4 and 3 is 7. I was able to make a list of 24 plugins. And then I started, and now I'm not going to mention all 24, of course, because not all of them are really worthy of discussion. But then I decided, well, 24, that's an awful lot.
Is that all on one site?
No. On the 7 sites altogether.
Okay, that's good.
So, but of the 4 that are live, one of them has 9, and one of them has 14. So the lowest was 9 and the highest was 14. And I even started looking at some of those and thinking, because the more plugins you have, that slows your website down. So
By how much?
well, I couldn't tell you, but they do say the fewer plugins you have, the faster your site will load. It has to do with loading. Yeah. So
It's
that's
extra code, and they put in extra stuff besides what you need to be able to do what you're doing. So even the identification and stuff like that, it just slows down your site. And when you get excessive plugins, it will make a significant difference.
Mhm.
Now we're talking maybe a second. Okay. But in the world of Google, that second, I mean, if you're at 1.9 seconds and you add another second, you're at 2.9. That could make a huge difference in your rating for Google.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you try to do as much of it as you can by yourself. If you need a plugin, you use a plugin, because that's what, you
Mhm.
need to be able to do what you want, or you need to make a decision. Is this worth a plugin?
Yeah.
Or, and it's going to make the visitor's life easier, or is it just something to add a little bit of bells and whistles and I really don't need it? I mean,
Well,
so,
and David, I mean, we do the plugins because they do add to our efficiency, and they prevent us from having to know all of this sort of the background coding. So, I mean, there often are really good reasons to use them, but yeah. And I noticed that on a few of mine, I had, if you go into the plugin area in the back end of your website, I had a few in there that were there, but they were not activated. So I may have had it there in order to do a certain function, but then when I did not need it on an ongoing basis, I just deactivated. And I'm told that if you have it there and it's not activated, it does not affect your site speed. I'm told that. So
I've been told by some people that the same thing by some people I trust. I mean,
yes.
doesn't affect things. I mean, it's like all-in-one migration. The only time you want that active is when you're moving a site or you're backing it up. You deactivate it so that it's not taking up, it's not part of your site at that point.
Yeah.
You don't delete it, you just deactivate it.
Yeah.
And I've got, when I counted mine up, I had 14 plugins and I had 3 that were deactivated at right this moment.
Right. 14. So you and I are sort of on a par there.
Well,
so,
like I said, my real estate website has a bunch.
Yeah.
Because I did things to make it easier for them. You know, and it deals with IDX and being able to search properties and being able to map properties so you can run a map around and stuff. So there's more to it than just that, but it was all needed, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. So David, you mentioned one plugin that I had noted as a significant one that everybody should be aware of, and that was that all-in-one WP migration. And I keep that one, I keep it live actually on one of my websites because I need to be constantly doing an upgrade, a backup. That's part of my contract with the people that I did that there would always be an up-to-date backup. So and WP migration allows you to do that, and so that was one of the significant ones that I was going to mention. So I wondered if anybody else had anyone that they really wouldn't be able to function without. Yeah, Matthew.
I started to use Yoast on all my websites because it's just it seems to be doing a good job of bringing forward the results. So I've become a bit of a Yoast aficionado or convert, I guess, for now.
Yeah, I have used Yoast in the past myself. Oh, what happened? Something happened. All of a sudden, all the visuals all changed. So yes, I have used Yoast, and eventually, and I think at one time I even used the premium version. So I know what you're saying, but I have since changed over to all-in-one SEO pack, and probably simply because it's the one that gets recommended by WA, where I host all of my sites. So, and I'm assuming everybody knows what that one is, what those two are for. I'm looking at you, Fred. Since you're not on WA, do you know what those two plugins are used for? No, that's what I kind of thought. So both of those plugins help you list your meta title and your meta description and a number of other items to ensure that your website gets listed by Google. So the all-in-one SEO plugin is there is a free version there. I think there probably is a paid version, but that's when you're thinking about search engine optimization. those two plugins, either one, Yoast or all in one, are necessary. So those are kind of basic that you would always have on your site. Yeah.
I have switched recently to WPMUV Dev and using their SEO plugin.
WPMUV.
Yeah, that's the that has a suite of plugins that goes for it's got a photo compressor. It's got the Smart Crawl Pro, which is the replacement for the all-in-one SEO. It's got Hummingbird Pro. It's got a form creator. It's got Defender Pro, which replaces the word fence.
Oh, so it sounds like it's a suite of so that you just have to have one. I'm assuming there would be parts of it that you would activate if you needed it.
Correct. And I'm switching to that and seeing how that's working out.
And is that a premium only?
You can get some of their plugins for free. You don't get all of the active like Smoosh Pro or Smoosh you can get for free, and it compresses your files. It's got a few things that Pro has a few more things than its free version as normal.
Okay. So that's interesting. That was something that came up recently.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So that would be something to look into to see whether maybe at some point you would be willing to share your experience of that combo.
I will, but it's going to take me a couple months before
before you even know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to, before we leave before I forget, the all-in-one WP migration, there was another one that I believe it was Vivek that shared that one with me. There's a WP migration Google Drive. So basically, what it does is it does the backup, allows you to send the backup from your website to your own personal Google Drive. And that was something that we just discovered not long ago. So I wanted to mention that one is if it makes sense for you to have those backups saved to Google Drive, that would be useful. Any other favorite one? What about you, Javita? Do you have a favorite plugin that you couldn't live without on your sites? Because I know you have at least 2 sites, if not more.
I think it all depends on your niche. Which plugin is more useful to you?
Right.
I'm a big fan of Pinterest, so I find Pinterest plugins are very useful because you can use it on any site.
A
Means
a Pinterest plugin. Okay.
and there are also browser extension also that you can use for Pinterest. And of course, all-in-one that we use for SEO, that is a great help to rank your sites on search engines, not only in Google, but it's a very you can say it's a very old plugin all-in-one, but it's very useful. And I find WA always recommend all-in-one plugin
Yeah.
for SEO purpose.
Yeah.
So that is my favorite one.
Yeah. Right on. Vivek, I'm glad you made it.
Namaste.
We're talking about plugins this morning, and you must have heard me mentioning your name. So there you appeared when I mentioned your name. I was just talking about the all-in-one migration to Google Drive.
Mm.
So, Alana, what about you? Do you have any favorite plugins that you couldn't live without?
Well, I've been experimenting a little bit more with Updraft, and that's because all-in-one WP migration didn't work for me when I was trying to move my site recently, because my site is like half a gig, and it only takes a maximum of, I can't remember, I want to say 25 meg or something like that. It doesn't, like for the free version. And I wasn't willing to spend $70 to buy the all-in-one WP migration just for a once-off. So, I mean, I may end up buying it at some point, but Updraft did the job. So I used Updraft instead.
Oh.
So I don't know. I'm using Yoast. I have all-in-one SEO on one of my sites, but I prefer Yoast just because I like the traffic light operation on that. So Yoast, is easy for me to, get stuff done faster.
Right on. Yeah. So, but we all recognize that one of those needs to be there so that you can get your meta description and title and all of that, so you can control how it shows up in the SERPs. Yeah. So, Fred, what about you? Are you using any plugins on your website?
Yes and no. I have about 10 listed.
Yeah.
A lot of them are forms. I was trying different types of forms, and that's what they were. However, I don't optimize my website at all. It's not a major concern to me. I'm not selling anything, so to speak. Maybe people would be able to find me easier if they were ever looking for someone who's working with young people. However, I really don't spend a lot of time. I have 3 websites. I've developed them in WordPress.
Yeah.
But again, I don't go into the details. It's just another thing that takes time that it's not a priority to me yet. But it's of interest, this discussion. I think ultimately, maybe Dave or something, because he is, that's part of his businesses that he's got. I mean, he's got so many businesses now, I'm losing track. From whatever it is, fryers to selling houses to creating websites to now helping restaurants. And I mean, the man's got too many arms. He's like an octopus. Anyway, I really think that it would be nice to say, okay, if you're in a position like me, I have a website, but and you really want to, here's a list of plugins that you could use, and this is what it does. You can choose from it, because that would be helpful to someone like me.
Right.
That's why I enjoy coming here, because I say, oh, maybe I should look at this, but I don't have the time. But if somebody makes it easy for me, I might say, okay, I do have the time to do that, not to go through the multitude of plugins that are available, because it's overwhelming.
Right. Well, and just to go back to reiterate what Javita said, it depends on your niche. But yes, go ahead, Javita.
I just want to say to Fred, it's not always for selling your stuff to people that you use SEO plugins, but it all about to knowing what you're doing on online and what kind of services you can provide to, like your niche is about helping young people. So I think it's my personal opinion, okay, if you use plugins for SEO, other young peoples might find your services useful and you can help them in more better way.
Mhm.
It's not always about selling the
No.
stuff.
It's about being found, isn't it, Javita? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean I was, because I'm not selling anything. I am selling things. But I'm not looking for money for it at the moment.
No.
But yeah,
Well,
I agree with you, Juvita. I mean, you're totally right. I mean, if people want to find me, I need to do that. So I'm
yeah.
not arguing. It was just that I said it's not a priority to me, even for people to find me. I'm just going around doing my thing. Maybe
Right.
whatever it is with young people. I mean, I have all these meetings with them, as I was saying earlier on, with people from Romania and Nepal and here. That I had that meeting on Sunday. I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And it's not a priority to me at the moment. That's all. It is even to be found. I have enough people who've found me so far. They're keeping me busy, so I don't need to get any busier, so to speak.
That's
But
what I run into.
I'm interested in the subject.
And
I'm
that's
interested in the subject because there might be a day when I want to be found. And I said, okay, now I got to do it.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's what I run into trying to sell websites to people. You know, I deal with a lot of contractors and whatnot in the real estate business. I say, hey, how's your website? Well, I don't have one. Well, why don't we get you going on one? And they say, well, I've got enough business right now. If I get a website and get more business, I don't know what I do with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Wouldn't that be lovely if we all could say we've got enough business and we
yep.
couldn't use any more? So, Vivek, what about you? I know you have at least one website. So, what would you say is your favorite or most needed plugin?
Um, the all-in-one migration is certainly one of them.
Yeah.
Um, in one of my clients' websites, I had to look for a Google review plugin. I can't remember the name of that right now, but there is a plugin which allows you to bring in Google reviews onto your website so that people who visit your website can see the Google reviews people have put.
You mean that bringing in the Google My Business reviews that comes up in Maps?
Yeah.
Really? Now there's something I didn't know.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
That,
our missing companion Jay sells a product of that, being able to do that.
Aha.
He can bring in all of your reviews from many different places, not only Google, but from Better Business and um, places you choose. And
Well, that's worth knowing. Yeah,
yes,
I didn't know about that one.
when you're in a review dependent industry, it's pretty important.
Hmm.
I would like to give you my favorite, or the
Yes.
one I'm most using and converted to right now. That's Generate Blocks. And I have switched to trying to build websites with just the block editor to eliminate the page builders. And so I can see the speed pick up.
Hmm.
And I'm finding that is a very useful tool for block editing. It allows me to do nest things, which is really important.
Hmm.
So
And that was on that's on one of my sites as well. So that was um, part of where I plan on going with one of my sites is well, actually more than one, is to eliminate using you know, Elementor or all of these other things, and just using the straight Generate Press and its premium plugin, and then just using I mean, does everybody remember the term Gutenberg? I mean, we all resisted Gutenberg like crazy, and now it's just called blocks. so that and Vivek and I are working on collaboratively on a site which we decided we were going to use nothing but Generate Press, and just no block, nothing, just the Gutenberg or just the blocks, and it's been a very interesting experience. It can be done, and what your end result can look very nice. So
I've been using it. I'm building a sample website right now, and my speed's is a lot slower than if I was using Divi, but it will get there very quickly. I mean, it's just a matter of using it and getting used to using it and figuring out where things are at. Okay, I want to change this color. Okay, well, I go here. Well, that didn't change it. I got to go over here. And then, oh, there it is. You know, instead of now, the next time I use it, I know exactly where to go. It becomes second nature.
Yeah, it takes time.
The plugin I use for bringing in the Google reviews is it's called Business Reviews Bundle for WordPress.
Business Reviews Bundles?
Yeah, bundle
for WordPress. Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you. That's interesting. Now I might mention one that I just forget who I got this from, but you know, when if you're a blogger and people add a comment to your blog, and you your website will tell you that there's a comment there, etc. One of the things that, and I think it might have been Bill Graham a long time ago, we all talked about, well, if you put if somebody leaves a comment on your website and you put an answer there, like you reply to that comment, how is that person going to know that you have commented? And when we started looking at the numerous steps that you needed to go through, copy this and send them an email, and, you know, back and forth and up and down, I discovered that there was a plugin called Comment Reply Email Notification. So that plugin, what it does is when somebody leaves a comment on one of your blog posts, it will automatically send that person, use the email that was used to add that comment. It will automatically send you and that person a copy of what your response was in the comment. Talk about save a lot of hassle, and is, you know, well, it's all about efficiency, isn't it? I mean, there were so many steps that you had to do, and there was such a danger of all of those steps falling through the cracks. So, oh, Alana is saying, sorry, I have to go. Merry Christmas to everyone. Well, the same to you, Alana. See you in the new year. I'm glad you made it. Right on. So that one was that plugin to me was I mean just but of course it's only relevant if you're a blog writer, because and it depends on the way you've got your site set up. Most of us don't have comments enacted for pages, but we do for posts. So that's a really valuable plugin to have. Another plugin that I find really, really useful, and well, if you happen to be wanting to use a template of some sort on your website, you can create a template, but to make that an efficient process, there's a plugin called Duplicate Page. And so if you've got a template page, and you've got this duplicate page, you just click on that duplicate page and you've got a duplicate, and you can fill in that template, and away you go. And another piece in and around efficiency, to save yourself copying and back and forth and up and down. Really, 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 really useful. And Vivek and I, when we're working on this new site that we're working on, we had, in order for people to be able to do certain things in these courses that we're doing, we wanted people to be able to access and use a template. So that one was, the duplicate page is a really, really useful one. Yeah. So now I've shared a couple. Any others, David? I know you. I mean, so there's a couple here I know I learned from you. So. No, he's looking. He can't remember. And you're muted, David.
Sorry about that. We pretty much covered everything that I use. I use Atomic Blocks, which is another block.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you more. It gives you more blocks,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one that I've been using for quite some time. Actually, I built when Gutenberg first came out, I built a website with Gutenberg only, and it's the first block like generate blocks tool that I use for. It gave me a lot more blocks to use.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could put in short codes. I could do, all sorts of fun stuff, accordion, and so forth and so on. WP Mail SMTP.
Oh.
That is one that I use when I'm sending out forms, and I'm going to give my customer a copy of that form that they filled out.
Oh.
And what that does is it allows your when you're dealing with email being sent from your website, it comes from WordPress and it ends up in spam, or it gets blocked a lot of times, so they don't receive it. So this fixes that problem by making it look like it's a regular email address, like from, Dave at teamflannery.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that I use a lot.
Wow. Well, so I'm thinking, I'm watching my time here. I know everybody is incredibly busy at this time of year. So we are at 22. Another one that I found really useful was forget about shortcode buttons. And that one just allows you to quickly create a button, boom, and put in a link behind the text and the buttons. That one I use that extensively on one of my customers, and I've found that I like it so much that I've pretty well got it on everything now. It's just that fast. I mean, yes, you using block editor, you can create a button, but there are steps, and this one is just boom, done. So that one I really like as well. So, but I have an idea of a question that maybe we should deal with before we close, and that is this image optimizer, Kraken, and what's the other one? There's two. Uh,
Smoosh. At least I,
Squish. That's another one, but there's still another one that gets used a lot. And I'm just looking to see if I can find it. Where is it? I can't find it. Oh, here it is. EWWW image optimizer. There now within WA, it seemed as though everybody was using the latter, this EWWW image, and now they have moved over to another one called Kraken Image Optimizer. And I wondered if anybody had any experience. I have, it seems I have either one on my sites, and I don't fully understand what that does, except they're supposed to compress the size of your images so that they don't slow your site down. So David, can you speak to that at all?
well, I can't speak to the one that we used to use. I can speak to Kraken, and it also allows you to do what's called lazy load. And what that means is when your website comes up, it loads the photo when it needs to, as opposed to
Right.
loading all of the photos. It only loads what it needs as it goes through, and it speeds up the site. Okay, that's another way that they speed up the site. Smoosh on the Pro version allows you to be able to do that also.
Okay. And Smoosh is another one. Okay. SMOOSH, I'm guessing.
So just a quick question. Normally the WordPress site would load all the photos whenever someone is trying to pull a photo?
They load all the photos that for the whole page. When the lazy load allows it to only load what's on the screen. So that as you scroll down, it'll load the next picture. As you scroll down, it'll load the next picture. Okay, so it's done loading, as opposed to what it normally does is it loads everything at once. At least that's my understanding.
Yeah.
Wish Jay was here. He would make sure that I was right.
Yeah. And okay, so that was one thing that I wanted to mention to everyone.
Can I mention another thing about I do a two-step process. I have Smoosh on my sites. I've had Kraken. I still have Kraken on a number of sites from when I just haven't updated or not going to really unless I've got nothing else to do, which is probably never going to happen. But anyway, I use another program called Casium, and I compress my photos on my desktop before I upload them, and then it compresses them a second time when it's in the when Smoosh that. Now they don't take much away, but it's a double compression, and it has not affected the quality of the pictures at all.
Kazim, Kazim.
CA.
Oh.
Caesium. I'm going to put a link to it in YouTube.
Okay, Kazim. All right. So that makes your but these compressors make your website more efficient. Yeah. So Vivek, is there any other that you want to mention? No? Okay.
I believe in keeping the plugins to the minimum. So
Yes, I know you do.
the more plugins you have, the
Yeah.
slower your website will
Yeah.
be. So
And so I'm glad you said that, because that gives me a little opening to say one of the plugins that I've used, and many of you may use, it's called Very Simple Contact Form. So I use that on one of my sites, and that is just so that you can add that to your contact page very easy or whatever. And I think it works with a shortcode, if I remember correctly. But one of the things that Vivek and I have been doing on one of my sites, and the one that he and I are working on, we just use a Google form. Create that and upload the embed code. Done. and I mean because it's an embed code, it's not gonna slow your site down. So another wonderful way to make use of Google, the Google products that we all know. So
Can you do a pop-up form with that?
a pop-up form.
Where you press a button and it pops the form up, you fill it out and then press send. Would it be a Google form?
I can't think of, I mean, you would, the way that I've used it is I've got a contact page, and it's on the contact page. I don't know. That's a good question. Whether that could be done or not.
I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think
Okay.
you can do that.
If you have an embed code, I would have to probably have another pop-up plugin that will do the pop-up, and then I'd put the embed code into the pop-up. That would probably work then.
No, even in the pop-up you could put the embed code through. I mean, in the pop-up you could have a button which, when you clicked, will take them to the Google form. That you can do.
Yeah.
Well, what I like to do is to have it pop up, fill out the form, press send, and then it goes either to a thank you page or it goes back to the original page. And it clears out instead of sending them to another page.
There's a couple of other items here that I probably should mention. These two I'm going to mention are not these are items that you would use for specific things and then disable. One of them was type switcher. When I was redoing an old website, and I wanted to take some things out of a blog and make it a page, and vice versa, I was able to do that really efficiently and easily using type switcher. And David, I know I learned that one from you, and that was just a godsend. But I certainly don't keep that alive all the time. And then there was another one called search and replace. Again, if you're working on an old site and you're for instance, if I have one site that has a lot of blog posts on it, so I could use that search and replace for to find maybe a couple of sites where certain thing was mentioned. So that one is useful. when you're especially when you're when you're making adjustments to an old site, as I was doing. So I found that one useful, and I probably found that one from you and or Alana, one of the two.
I think it was Alana on that one. 'Cause I
Yeah,
could use some big place.
yeah. Then let's see. Then we all know about WP Product Review Lite. I'm sure Javita, you use that one if you're doing product reviews. It adds a certain format in a very consistent way, which is really nice. So that's another one that some of us are using. And I did play with Elementor before we got into using Block Editor or Gutenberg, and Elementor has some nice. You can actually build a whole website using Elementor. But I think we've all come to realize that all of these sites like Elementor will slow your site down compared to just using the block editor. So we're all looking. So your site speed is really important these days. So we're a lot of these heavy duty things that once were used are sort of falling out of favor now. The one last thing that I want to mention, and that was WooCommerce. I'm starting to work on a site where I'm going to be selling products, and I don't know very much about WooCommerce as yet, but it is a very important one to know about. Okay, I mean, I could mention all 24, but I'm not going to. Matthew.
Yeah, I'm taking copious notes here because this is all very interesting. There's a bunch of plugins that I had no idea that, the functionality and the efficiency of some of them. Is there a place that you guys all go to, kind of like a listing of useful WordPress sites via category, like efficiency, or not WordPress sites, sorry, WordPress plugins, like categorized. So like, here's some efficiency plugins. Here's some make your day fun plugins, etc. Is there a place that lists all that?
Well,
don't you wish? Why do you think we're having this conversation?
We typically attend Success Circle regularly.
or are you going to make them?
What I do is when I'm looking for something, I will plug in like the best WordPress plugin for optimizing photos and then I go through and I look at who's reviewing it. Like WP Beginner is a good place. I trust that site. So if they've got a best of, I'll go and see them, and then I'll just take it verbatim. If I don't know any of the people that have been reviewing it, I'll go to 2 or 3 reviews if I've got that many, and then I look to see if they consistently give me a good rating on one plugin. Okay, so then that's the plugin I'll go for.
One other quick question is there there must be affiliate marketing opportunities for WordPress plugin reviews like anything else, I suppose. Do all developers give affiliate marketing options for people who want to review their plugins?
Not all of them.
No.
I'm a marketer. I'm always thinking that way.
No.
Some of them do, though. I mean, you just got to check. Usually the ones that do, how when you go to plugins and you type in new and you go and you type in like the name or the category and you get a list of them, those usually don't have affiliates, even if they have pro versions. It's the ones that you have to you find on Google that have their own website, and the only way you can find them is to upload the plugin. Those generally will have an affiliate, and that's general. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Not 100% either way. You may find some that you find on the new and this plugin search that the pro version does have an affiliate site.
Mhm.
Just
It's not consistent.
not consistent. Yeah.
Oh. So, David, do you remember what WP Edit is for? I found that on one of my sites and I couldn't remember for the life of me why it was there. Okay, you don't
I
remember.
want to say that it's the one that we use to lower the number of revisions that are
Yes,
kept on your
yes,
website.
yes, yes. That's what it was. It was. Yeah.
I'm not getting that old. I can still remember.
Well, now that you say that, I remember it too. Now that you say it.
I'm getting close, but you know.
Uh, all right. So I mean, we have covered a lot of ground here, and some of these things would be useful depending on what it is that you're trying to do. So I'm looking at our time. We're right at the top of the hour almost. And I usually give Fred the opportunity for the last word. So Fred, do you want to give us the last word?
Yeah, thank you very much, Lolan, because what Matthew was asking was exactly what came to mind to me. If we or you or someone in this group set up a Google Sheet where we could list
Mm-hmm.
the plugin, what it does,
Mm-hmm.
who who suggested it, and their comments, and if it's paid or not paid, that would be of great assistance to a lot of people. Now you need
Okay.
to monitor it. So the people who could monitor it and edit it, you could say, all right, you're involved in websites, Lolan,
Mm-hmm.
Dave, Vivek, and maybe Alana. And so when everything's submitted, whoever submits them, because anyone could submit it, then you could look at it because there was some very valuable information here.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we find it? So if that was a service offered, I don't know. I think it would be very valuable to me, obviously to Matthew, because he asked the question, which was exactly what came to mind. So
Right.
I think there's some great opportunity to help people find a plugin. And it doesn't mean this is the only place, but it's just the ones that you've used and what it's valuable for and what it's
Right.
used for. Listen, I think that would be a fantastic option somewhere on one website. Just here's the list that we found. Doesn't mean it's comprehensive, but what we're
Right.
using, I think
Well,
that would be great help to people like me and Matthew and anyone else.
I will commit to posting something on the Being Your Own CEO website, but it will not be there until the new year.
Great. No, but that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That would be.
But you have to go to my website, find it.
I don't mind going to your website. That's where I think it should be. I think it should be on your website because it's from your success circle and the people involved, and it's their opinions. It doesn't mean it's
Right.
but
Right.
there's some valuable information here that if it's in one place could be valuable to a lot of people, and it would give you and
Yeah.
on your website a lot of credibility. She's very helpful. Look what she's done here
Mhm.
and her group. So I think that'd be wonderful. So it's
Right
great
on.
commitment. I look forward to looking on your
Well,
website.
I've already got the list made on paper.
Yeah.
Thank you to Handel's Messiah.
So just the columns, what
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is it going to be,
yeah.
whatever it is on a spreadsheet. Wow, and it can be, yeah. I think that'd be fantastic. So that's
Yeah.
my
That would
comment.
be easy, very easy to do.
Yeah.
Vivek, I could create a spreadsheet and just put the embed code on the page. That's how you do it.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
So thank you. I enjoyed the session as always. That's why I come here to.
I'm glad you did.
No. I mean, I know I got plugins, but it's not but there are time. There's going to be a time.
Yeah, right on. Well, thank you all, and I do give you the compliments and good wishes for peace and joy and happiness, and we will see you all in the new year. And as we're just going to do an outro right now.
you.